Hello, hello. How's everyone doing? So, let's see what's going on. It says here, what happens after divorce papers are served? Everything you to know. All right. Often, soon-to-be divorcees get stuck or bogged down by the stage of marriage, blah, blah, blah. You consult a lawyer, have questions. I do have questions. I want answers. What is the divorce serving? Whether you apply for a divorce online or hand it, oh, you can do it online. I don't know that or hand in completed divorce forms personally, your next task is to let your partner know about your intentions to end your marriage and notify them that the divorce process has started. You can do this through official serving procedure. All right, so you ain't got to talk to them. Got it. Serving divorce papers is the legal process of announcing your wish to terminate your marriage and deliver divorce documents to your partner, indicating your intentions regarding the post-divorce relationship. The divorce papers may include summons, complaints, and any other forms you have filed with the court. You may deliver documents to your spouse by yourself if it is allowed in your state. That might that might be better. Send them by mail or hire a professional service expert or a sheriff. You have to pay the sheriff. As soon as you've served the other party, you should provide proof of service to the court so that you can move to the next stage of the divorce process. All right, that's cool. You give them the papers, take a selfie. What's up? It's over. What happens after serving divorce papers? For many divorcees, the initial steps of the divorce process, such as preparing documents, submitting them to the court, etc., are pretty straightforward, at least until divorce papers are served. However, determining what happens after, just get to the information. Following stages are experts move through your divorce process. Response: the spouse serving divorce papers, the person initiating divorce, is named a petitioner, while the partner who receives them is a respondent after being served. The respondent commonly between 20 to 30 days, depending on the local regulations. Okay, so they have 20 to 30 days to respond. It implies they should read all the all the divorce papers delivered to them and provide their opinion on the divorce terms specified in writing, either agreeing to them or filing a counterclaim. They may choose to hire their own attorney and contest certain aspects of the divorce. A default judgment may be issued if they do not respond within the given time frame. Ah, that's excellent. Negotiations. After both spouses have voiced their divorce related intentions, which are usually different, especially in contested cases, they need to first try to come to an agreement through negotiation. It is a process where both spouses and their attorneys discuss all divorce matters such as property, division, child custody, alimony, etc., and find mutually beneficial solutions and how these issues can be resolved. Except the negotiations, I would assume, is the hardest part because in most of those cases, or in a lot of those cases, uh, the men are paying for not only the divorce, uh, they're paying for the lawyers for both themselves and their partner. So their partner could just have their lawyers in the negotiation stage the whole time, running up a check until dude start bleeding money and he has to surrender and agree to all the kinds of terms that he doesn't want to. Mediation: if negotiations are unsuccessful and partners cannot find a compromise, they can ask a mediator for help. This qualified person can direct spouses through a discussion on their divorce, help future exes agree on the main divorce issue peacefully, and assist in completing the settlement agreement outside of court. But that's useless. A mediator is useless if one person is being unreasonable, because in the negotiation they have most of the power because they're not paying any bills or anything like that, and they want to get their way regardless because after the marriage they have no income, or that was their main source of income and they didn't want to go back to work or anything like that. They're not going to agree to the mediator, or they're not going to agree with anything the mediator says. So that is just useless. And if you have two reasonable people that can discuss it, they don't need a mediator. So I don't know. I don't see how a mediator would help anything. Discovery and temporary orders. During the divorce process, either spouse may file for temporary orders to address issues like child custody, support, and spousal support. But those things are separate. Oh, it's temporary. Okay. It's a temporary order for child custody, support, and spousal. Okay. Yeah. Those orders remain in effect until the court makes the final divorce decision. Also, spouses should typically engage in the discovery process to gather information about each other's finances, assets, and debts. How does the debts play into account? Because I know they talk a lot about in divorce, everything is split 50-50. But do the debts get split 50-50? Because that wouldn't make any sense for you to only get benefits, but none of the negatives. So the person has to have 100% of the debts that they occur, but only 50% of their assets to cover the debts. That doesn't make any sense to me. So maybe the debts somehow counterbalance how much they owe the other person. I don't know. I don't know how it works. Court hearings. It may happen that spouses still cannot arrive at a compromise after mediation, which should happen a lot. So the divorce case goes to court. It is typically a longer and more expensive process. So it's already expensive, and then it goes to court, and then it's longer and more expensive. That's amazing. Divorce is a nightmare. Why would anyone get married? Not only is marriage just another relationship because divorce exists, marriage means nothing because it's not really a commitment, it's just another relationship that can end. So why are you doing it? You're simply making it more difficult for one person to get out of it. So you have one person who believes or has more to lose. They're going to stay in a miserable situation because they don't want, because divorcing would be more disadvantageous for them than it would be for the other person. And then you have someone else who believes either they believe or they know that they would be better off outside of the relationship, or they're willing they willing or they believe they would be happier even with the disadvantages by getting out of the relationship. So at that point, you just pretty much have a hostage situation. You have a hostage situation where someone is staying in something that they don't want to be in, or another person is ending a relationship for someone and making their lives worse by leaving this relationship that was supposed to enhance both of your lives. It's just like, I don't understand it. Even as a kid, I just never got why people got married. It just seemed silly to me. It's just a complete waste of time. If you're going to make a commitment to someone, make that commitment. If your word isn't good enough, doc, legal documents is not going to enforce your word in any way, shape, or form. All it's going to do is make sure that one person is somehow going to keep their word while the other person, they're free to do whatever they want, which is just weird. It doesn't hold both people in the same manner. And if it did hold both people in the same manner, where they both have equally amount to lose and their lives would be worse off, uh, in the kind of the equal sort of way, in that case, they're gonna come to a amicable decision where they either choose to stay together or exit the relationship. Either way, which is something you can do where neither one of you have anything to really lose if you just have a verbal agreement with each other that this is what you're going to do for each other. And in that situation, if you choose to leave, you don't really lose anything. Some people would say, okay, well, a woman could give up her life and decide to be a homemaker to this individual, and then he choose to leave her. Sure, that can happen, but is it any better if there was a legal contract and in that situation she gets to leave him and take a bunch of money that she didn't work for? That just, like, if either way someone is getting screwed over, I would rather be in a situation where I believe that I'll do right by the other person and hold myself to that standard than to be in a situation where I'm somehow sacrificing control to the other person where they can choose to be nice uh, and do no harm to me, or most in which is most likely going to happen, they're going to do harm because they don't want to be with me anymore, they don't like me anymore. Like, you know what I mean? It just doesn't seem like a good idea. Finalizing. No matter which option of negotiating the divorce terms you choose, you will either fill out the settlement agreement with your final decisions on all divorce related issues and have the court approve them, or abide by the court order, specified decision, and made by the judge. It is when your divorce is over and you obtain papers. Okay. So it seems here the court thing is optional. They can agree beforehand and just kind of finalize the divorce. See, court hearing, it may happen that spouses still arrive, so the divorce goes to court. Okay, so it only goes to court if they can't reach an agreement, uh, which, that's just that's just shitty. Because if you're gonna divorce someone, you would want to actually come to an agreement. Because if you go through all that trouble and you're bleeding that person of money, a lot of that money you're not getting. Like, you're screwing over both of you. This is just a brief explanation of what happens after divorce. Papers are served. However, remember that every divorce is different and not all cases will follow the scenario exactly. Be prepared for any issues that might arise. Okay. All right. Oh, well, she's kind of old, but no, she's still cute. Still. What happens if serving is impossible? Things don't always go smoothly in life. When it admits a divorce, this can certainly be true. Your marriage termination, blah, 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 blah. Here are some of the several outcomes of serving divorce papers is impossible. The inability to serve the papers properly may delay the entire process. What do you mean may? That would be the most obvious thing. I would assume it would delay the process. Uh, the court may not have the authority to hear your marriage termination case until they have served your spouse. Yeah, so that's probably why it would delay it. Yeah? If you cannot serve your spouse because you don't have their current address or location, you may have to enlist your lawyer or private detective. Damn. So, so you're saying if a man is about to be divorced and he knows that and he's about to lose a lot of money, he could take all that money and go to a different country where he can't be served. But eventually you probably get found. I don't know. Like, they'll track your bank account and stuff. They'll find you. If you cannot serve your soon to be ex directly, you can choose to service. So you can choose service by publication in the local newspaper or even social media. That's insane. Wow. You can They can put it on your social media account or the newspaper, and you have 20 days, 20 to 30 days. Damn, there's no escape. In some instances, your case may be processed by default, even with your partner submitting no response. However, make sure to provide proof to the court that you have tried all options possible to serve your soon-to-be ex. There's really no escaping. If someone wants to leave you, they can leave you. So, which boggles my mind why there are some people in this world that say they've been trying to divorce someone for like 10 something years. It's just like they just they just didn't want to go through the process, or they didn't want the divorce to end without them getting some sort of payment or something like that. So it makes it harder to believe people like that. Conclusion: while filing for divorce is common legal procedure, some steps, particularly what happens after the papers have been served, may differ depending on case specifics. It's a good idea to be prepared. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Well, we've learned something about divorce today, and I hope that serves all of you right. Until next time.